I know what you're thinking. What the hell is that? It's the coldest water bottle. This water bottle, it's a bottle. I bet you he has a list too. This water bottle saved me from turning into one of these creatures. There's a magic liquid inside that stays cold for 36 to 100 hours. Comes in all shapes, colors, and sizes. If you want to buy one, look at the link below. Click on that, use the code EXTREME, get 15% off or 10% or something like that. What a fucked up video this is going to be. As the Extreme channel is pushing towards 50,000 subscribers, these are just a few of the statues we are giving away on the journey there. If you want to know how to win one, stay tuned for later in the video. Hey everybody, Mimic, Mr. X, Weird Voyeur. Today we are looking at this statue from First Four Figures. That's the name of the company that made it. This is a Mimic statue from the video game Dark Souls, which I've actually never played before. I am not a big video gamer. I was way back in the day about 20 years ago, and especially before that in my teenage years. But I just bought this because it looks incredibly badass. I have a number of pieces from First Four Figures. A lot of them are some of these traditional video game pieces, like this Mario right here. Then also from Dark Souls, I have this Sif statue. So this is actually from the same video game and manufacturer as this crazy looking Mimic statue. Now I just bought this because this is the stuff that dreams are made of. Not nightmares, because stuff like this is what I dream about. Because as you guys know, I constantly wish for the sweet release of death. And I imagine something like this is what's going to be waiting for me. So despite my lack of knowledge on the source material here, we're going to do a review of this statue. And I bought it just because it looks creepy and I think it'll look great with my horror pieces. And honestly, I'm going to let the cat out of the bag or the big tongue out of the trunk. This is pretty damn cool. So before we dive into the extreme review, I'm going to give you a little bit of background about this piece. And like I said, I don't really know much about it, so I'm just going to read it here for you. Sleeping in the corners of Lordran, the land of ancient lords, are the seemingly harmless treasure chests awaiting discovery. Ooh. Sooner or later, inexperienced and greedy travelers are befall the Mimic's clutches as they attempt to retrieve the treasures within. Kind of reminds me of Final Fantasy I on NES, like that's what I would play when there was monsters in the treasure chest. Mimics are unique monsters disguised as treasure chests. If players mistakenly open one of these, it will grab and sink its teeth into them with no remorse. If attacked, it will reveal its true and intimidating nature and shred the ill-fated apart. My throat hurts. Rumor has it that the treasures they keep are belongings of their unfortunate victims of the past. There are tells, however, to differentiate mimics from normal treasure chests, but we'll leave that up to you to determine. So that's essentially what they are, and they are creepy, they are badass. I wonder if they look this scary in the game. So First Four Figures made this. It's 1/4 scale, meaning 4 times smaller than the original piece. Let's dive into that extreme review and tell you why I like it, even though I don't know much about it. And first thing we're going to start with is concept of the piece. Now, while I might get a few things wrong, I'm going to speculate, and even with my inexperience with Dark Souls, I still think it looks pretty cool. On the bottom, you have this museum-style outer base. I think it looks cool. There are some bricks and tiles on top, exactly what you would see, kind of like in a video game or a castle. These big 12 by 12 inch tiles. Well, they're more like 1 inch by 1 inch here. Some of them are broken, what he's crawling over. He has these incredibly skinny, creepy legs. As I was pulling him out of the box, I kind of thought that there was some fuzz on him. It's actually hair. They somehow have hair all over his body. It's this weird texture, this weird creature-like aspect. As you move up to the treasure chest, which not only has these bone-like teeth and creepy arms with long fingernails, but this huge, gigantic, wet tongue that's actually dripping of saliva coming out of it. This is seriously one of the creepiest things I've ever seen in my life, and I absolutely love it. I don't care that I don't know where it's from, and I imagine if I like the Dark Souls video game, I would think this is even cooler. So for concept, just for a creepy-ass creature, I give it a 5 out of 5. I am really, really liking this piece. Now with design, there's some things that are good and things that are bad, but I think they did a pretty good job overall. Before we look at that, let's look at the unboxing and assembly. First Four Figures always does a great job with packaging. They'll have one box and another box on the inside, and then of course the art box, which this one was pretty sweet. Standard foam with the information etched into the foam and your COA card that they give with every single piece. It was 2 layers. The first layer was all of the pieces. Here's the wax paper removed. The only thing that's missing from this layer was the base, which was in the second layer right here. Now, one of the disadvantages of this piece is I think the base takes up way too much space. You have all this wasted area while it looks nice. The base is 16.5 inches by, I assume, another 16.5, a little bit over. And then the tallest part, you probably got from the base to the maybe elbow here, it's 21 inches, and then another 2.5 inches on the base, so 23.5 total. You know, I think it would have been smarter. Granted, they had to have that wide stance and it adds to the creepiness, but they could have done it maybe somehow where it was stepping down so you don't lose all of this display space. I think that's definitely a big issue. Also, putting it together, you see this little broken chain. It came broken. That's one of the pictures you saw in there, but it kind of looks cool just laying down below. Now I'm going to have to go through the boxes again. It's really weird because there is one handle with the chain on the other side, and it looks like it's missing on the other side, but I didn't see anything in the box, so it's probably in there. Otherwise, as you saw, assembly was pretty easy. Getting the hinges on the inside was a little hard because I have big hands. You know what they say about guys with big hands, don't you? It's hard for them to get hinges on the inside of a trunk. So really, I can't find a lot of flaws. Now, it does have a bunch of different options. So there's a regular version, a deluxe with bonus and stuff like that. While we usually talk about that during the design, I'm going to wait for value, and we're going to go over all the different options in the value part of the review. So let's just sum up the design. I'm going to go ahead and give the design a 4 out of 5. I think it's pretty cool. The wasted space on the base is the biggest issue. Paint and sculpt, this is probably my favorite first 4 figures piece. Here's why. So here this beautiful guy is in all of his glory. With the base, it's interesting, like I said, other than the design flaw of how much space it takes up, it's actually quite nice, especially for a first 4 figures piece. This outer layer is kind of a mix between a brown and a black. Very smooth, couple rigid lines on it. And then you have the floor tiles, very gaming-like. I like the different colors that's mixed in there. I like how where he's stepping or where the cracks are shows he's very strong despite his skinny stature. And then a few other cracks along the way, but I think the tiles here look really, really nice actually. Now with him, like I said, initially I thought all this was fudge. You can see it on the camera. It's actually hair, and I don't know how that's attached to him, but it's pretty cool. But everything is elongated, obviously, from his legs to his toes. These creepy nails on his fingers and toes that we're going to look at with this enamel red, brown, spotted, white shine. It's kind of crazy. The anatomy on him is just freaky, is the best way to describe it. He is bare-assed, which is also freaky. But you see some veins in there. along with the muscles, and it's a mix of red, brown, and black really, and some of those different shades throughout his skin. And his arms, very similar. No junk, so I wonder how mimics reproduce. And again, those creepy long elongated fingernails and fingers just really add to it. Here he has a bracelet on, which almost, to me, insinuates a little bit maybe he was trapped inside of the chest. And moving on to the chest is probably the weakest part. Has a little bit of a plastic feel, but not too much. And I think part of that's attributed to the paint and a little bit to the sculpt, but mostly to the paint. It is worn with lots of notches. The metallic parts, whether it's the hinges or the clasp up here, also could be a little bit better. Then his teeth look more like bones than teeth. And I don't know if that's intentional or not, but again, has a small plastic effect to it. I like the placement a lot more than the actual paint and sculpt on them. Here's the handle to the chest. There's that broken piece we were talking about. Then his tongue is the star of the show. I love the colors on this. I love the sculpt. You can see all the pores inside the tongue and how it runs down. And then they added this moist effect, and there's even a little bit of drool on the bottom here. But these dark reds and blacks, almost some purples they have mixed in here, almost like a pulsating tongue. Did a really nice job on that. So I'm pretty impressed overall. A few things I would change, but especially when taking a foot or two back, it's pretty striking actually. All right, so paint. It is still very dark, but I think that adds to the creepiness of it and some of the colors they have on the tongue. Like I said, a little plasticky on the trunk, as well as the teeth. I think that's more attributed to paint than sculpt, but I still give it a solid 4 out of 5 on the paint. Sculpt, I love the base. I love the creature itself. The treasure chest is okay. I do like the teeth. I like the arms. I think it's not a 5 out of 5, but it's damn close. It's a very strong 4 out of 5 on the sculpt. Now for value, these are all the different options you could have bought. So first you have what I got. This is the standard edition, so it comes with everything that you saw, and this retailed for $549.99. Now, if you wanted to get the exclusive, I believe, was the same price, but you could only get from First Four Figures. I bought mine from Sideshow. It has this pull. Again, not a huge fan, not really a big deal to me. Then right here you have the definitive edition. Now, this piece right here actually includes an unopened treasure chest, which makes sense why the base is so big. This retailed for $739.99, so almost $200 more. Not worth it to me just for an extra treasure chest. And then they have the combo edition, which includes a separate base for the second treasure chest, I believe is the big difference, for $824.99. Now, if you wanted to buy just another treasure chest with the base, it's $349.99. So as you can see, so many different options. So for mine right here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give the value. Actually, I think it's okay. I don't think I can get my money back, but it's a strong 3 out of 5. I just don't think it's that popular, but like I said, people like me who like really creepy horror type pieces, even if you haven't played the game, you probably would want to pick this up. So does this have the X factor? If you're new to the channel, that's not a cumulative score. It's just, am I kind of wowed by it? Has this quickly become one of the top 20% in my collection? You know what? Zero regrets. I'm going to give this a 5 out of 5. I like it that much. I am pleasantly surprised. I had high expectations based off the pictures. It was actually on a wait list and it converted, so I picked it up right away, and now that it's here, super, super happy. Only issue is going to be the display space, because I'm not sure if it's going to fit where I wanted to put it.
That's what she said!
We will be giving all of these statues away, plus additional ones, at every 5,000 subscriber milestone. To win one of these statues, all you have to do is make sure you've liked this video, you've subscribed to the channel, you've hit that bell notification, and then just drop a comment below. Every 5,000 subscriber milestone, we are going to do a random drawing and pick a random comment and give one of these statues away, plus some additional ones I'm not showing right now. The more videos you comment on, the higher your chances are to win. So thanks so much for tuning in, guys. What do you think of this piece? If you don't like creepy horror stuff, obviously you hate it. So I'm not talking to you. I don't want to hear what you have to... I'm kidding. Or am I? But throw that down in the comments, drop me a like on your way out, and hit that subscribe button to see more stuff like this, or just look at my pretty face. Or his pretty face. This is kind of a long exit. Not exit, extro, because it's not the intro. Outro. I need a beer.